Welcome back to North Wales. It's Anglesey. 3 rounds to go in the championship, and the Van Insura 600 Sportsman Elite on the grid. On pole position, local rider Jamie Harris, who lives just a few miles down the road. Second place, Mark Cronshaw on the grid. There's Curtis Wright, number 74. And then in 4th place, the Sportsman Elite 600 Championship leader, Daniel Freer. So he's got some competition this weekend. Look out for Richie McNeil on the 2nd row there in 5th place on the blue and white Suzuki, number 22. He entered the series 1 round late, so he's had a bit of catching up to do, but he has become the fiercest rival to Daniel Freer, number 66. And then there's also a battle within the battle, the Superstock 600 Championship still to win. And that is getting really, really tasty between Sam Thompson, number 50, and Sam Cox, number 54. And with an outside chance of winning, number 4, James Shaw, out there on the Kawasaki. But we'll try and keep you up to date with that. Jamie Harris, in the meantime, is your race leader. Jamie, you may remember from Thundersport GP3, our 125 GP class from a few years back. Rider, as I mentioned before, oh blimey, there's all sorts going on in the background there into Rocket. We've got a couple of riders down, so easy to do, down into Rocket, and that's James Shaw on the right. It is James Shaw, number 4, has gone down, and is that Curtis Wright that's gone down with him? So immediately 2 key riders down and out of this race. Well, I'll go back to Jamie Harris. As I mentioned before, he's entered the Thundersport Championship previously. He's been doing a few British Championship rounds here and there, but this weekend he's looked electric on this 600 of his. He's already smashed the lap record to smithereens, and he's looking in fine shape. He is, of course, on a super stock 600 bike, and well, I was speaking to him before this race, and he was telling me that literally this engine has come straight out of someone's road bike that they've borrowed. Because, you know, the funding has been such a struggle for them, but he's got the whole family here supporting him, and he's looking really good. As you can see, we've still got major problems with the sea mist. I can tell you that from the rider's perspective, they can see clearly, they can see each apex, they can see the marshal's flags, more importantly, but it's just that obviously we are an island right next to the sea. You'll be able to see from a few shots the sea in the background, hopefully a bit later on when the sun pokes his head out. And I'll tell you why he's desperate to get past Sam, is because he knows that his championship rival, Daniel Freer, is a few places ahead of him on circuit, and at the moment they are trying to chase Jamie Harris, who's trying to run away with this at the front, number 196 there. Just behind him though, Mark Cronshaw. Yeah, I mentioned about Mark a moment ago. He has raced with Thundersport in the past. He had a really bad crash with Thundersport at Snetterton a few years ago, but it's nice to see him back here. He's obviously a big fan of the place, because he is flying. He's doing 109.2, which I can tell you wouldn't actually put him too far down the order in the GP1 race that we've just seen. Mark is, however, on a Formula 600, slightly more tuned than Jamie's that's just ahead of him on circuit, number 196, but fair to say that Jamie knows this circuit better than he knows his own bedroom. He has done so many laps around here. Nevertheless, he has put in his best ever lap here, so it just goes to show you that the competition he's facing has pushed him onto a new level. But he's got a lot of work to do if he wants to close in on Freer, because he's a good 3 or 4 seconds behind him at the moment. Lap records, forget about it. They've been completely ripped apart this weekend here. And even you would, I mean, believe it or not, this sea mist really is, it is producing a bit of moisture on circuit, but not enough for it to concern any of them, because they are lapping at quite a pace out there. Race leader at the moment, Jamie Harris, is posted a time that is, well, 0.8 of a second quicker than the previous lap record that was held, I will just give him a shout out, he might be watching, by Dan Miles, previous Superstock 600 champion, but that was set quite a few years ago, let me tell you. Daniel Freer's in a lonely third. That sounded like the oh yes, that did sound like someone had gone down, and they have there. And so we've lost a rider. Not quite sure who that was. That looks, well, whoever it is a bit winded, and he's down there, made a bit of a mess of the bike, but back with the leaders here. Great fight going on between Cronshaw and Harris now for the overall victory. Either way, they will win separate classes. Cronshaw the Formula 600 and Harris the Super Stock, but they want overall glory, don't they? And it's Cronshaw that's using every single brake horsepower extra that he has. Confirmation then, Cronshaw wins from Harris, Freer and McNeil. catch up with the Welshman himself then, Jamie Harris.
Superstock 600 winner, Jamie. A really good race for you there. I did feel gutted for you a bit because you were leading the race for the majority of it, but tell us about what happened when you got second.
Just going on to the outer church, it was on the last lap when a back marker high-sided in front of us, so I had to roll off a bit. Just let Mark get the run on me down the straight, so yeah, a bit gutted, but happy to win my class.
Yeah. Well, try again in the next race because it was very close between you. Any sponsors you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank Phil Morris Racing, Morris Lubricants, OBR Race Paints, and my mum and dad and family for supporting me on.
Welcome back to the final part here of Thundersport Elite. We're ready to go racing here with the Van Insura 600 Sportsman Elite. And it's a good start from poleman Jamie Harris there. He does get the whole shot down into turn one. Ahead of that looks like Daniel Freer, who's got away really well there, number 66, down into the hairpin. Curtis right there in third. That's James Shaw, who's hanging it all the way around the outside on the Kawasaki in fourth. And so decent starts there. Both Curtis Wright and James Shaw, of course, fell in race one, so they're going to want to make up for that. Keep an eye out for Jamie Harris, though, who won that race. So at the moment, though, in this race, there's no taking anything away from Jamie Harris here, number 196, looking really, really good. All of the thousands and thousands of laps that he's no doubt done around Anglesey coming together here. He's not being pushed quite as hard in this race as he was in race one, of course. That fight with him and Mark Cronshaw that went all the way to the line. So the only battle we've got on circuit at the moment is the one between second place man Richie McNeil, Curtis Wright, Daniel Freer, etc. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But at the moment, Harris here, number 196, from Ticros, which is the exact location which we're in, actually. So you could probably throw a stone into his back garden. Jamie Harris here with the whole family, and there's a lot of them, I've got to say. I went past the paddock awning, and there's a good 20 or so people in there. And so I do believe Jamie and his good lady Heidi are expecting, so congratulations. And there he goes through and into the banking, or round target, should I say, and then into the banking. Apparently, from what I gather, the reason for some of the names of these corners here, Rocket, which Jamie will be approaching very shortly, Rocket in and Rocket out, is where they used to launch rockets from, and Target is where they landed. Obviously not very successful rockets if all they manage to do is travel from Rocket to Target, because it's not very far. But apparently that is the reasoning behind the names of the corners here at Anglesey, certainly for a couple of them. I mentioned Peel already, which is in memory of the famous John Peel. Here they come through Rocket. There's McNeil still ahead of Curtis Wright, and only lost out to Ben Field, who at the time are Pocket Rocket, who's gone on to race in British Championship, currently competing in the Ducati 848 Challenge this year. And last lap flag is out then, so Jamie Harris has got a comfortable advantage here. He could probably afford to just pop home, get the kettle on, get back out on the bike, finish the race and become the winner. Harris here, the home turf winner. Richie McNeil going to do everything he can now to hold on to second place and collect a crucial 20 points. Superstock 600 win is going to this man. Through the corkscrew for the final time, around Club Corner. His family are all on the edge of pit wall here. They will be cheering, and on to the start finish straight we go, and a win for Jamie Harris here at home. There's the checker flag being waved by Dave, and that's it then. Jamie Harris the winner, number 196, as easy as that. Richie McNeil, thumbs up from the Irishman. He finishes in second. Curtis Wright third. So we've got a Welshman, an Irishman, and an Englishman in the top three. There's a joke there somewhere. I won't call it. And let's catch up with the winner overall here on home turf. A very happy, smiley face, Jamie Harris.
Jamie Harris, winner of the race overall, and a double win for you this weekend. You must be pleased with those results, because it was a tough race out there.
Yeah, it was really tough. It's like they were a bit closer that last race, so had to really push hard to keep him off me. It was a tough one.
Any sponsors you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to say thanks to Phil Morris Racing, Morris Lubricants, OBR Race Paint, my dad, and I forgot to say thanks to my girlfriend in the last one, so thanks to Heidi, and happy birthday to my mum as well.